Good afternoon. Students, quiet down, please. Veterans, community members, guests, students, and staff, welcome to our 11th annual Veterans Day program. November 11th is a day set aside to honor those who have served their country. It traces its roots back to World War I, when it was known as Armistice Day. In 1954, in its original proclamation on Armistice Day, Congress spelled out the purpose for the commemoration. Whereas the 11th of November, 1918, marked the cessation of the most destructive, sanguinary, and far-reaching war in human annals, and the resumption by the people of the United States of peaceful relations with other nations, which we hope may never again be severed, and whereas it is fitting that the recurring anniversary of this date should be commemorated with thanksgiving and prayer and exercises designed to perpetuate peace through goodwill and mutual understanding between nations. And whereas the legislatures of 27 of our states have already declared November 11th to be a legal holiday, therefore be it resolved by the Senate, the House of Representatives concurring, that the President of the United States is requested to issue a proclamation calling upon the officials to display the flag of the United States on all government buildings on November 11th, and inviting the people of the United States to observe the day in schools and churches or other suitable places with appropriate ceremonies of friendly relations with all other peoples. At this time, please rise. Gentlemen, remove your headgear and help us honor America by singing along with our national anthem. At this time, I'd like to please welcome the Milaca Elementary School's Children's Choir under the direction of Mr. Ben Huta and Mr. Ian Hendrickson. Please welcome the Milaca High School Concert Choir under the direction of Mr. Jacob Barsness.
Thank you for coming out today to remember and celebrate the veterans in our community who have fought so tirelessly for our freedoms. We would like to celebrate these heroes by performing 2 songs for you. First, an arrangement of Vince Gill's Go Rest High on That Mountain to remember the sacrifices of veterans. And second, a gospel selection titled I Will Sing to remember that it is because of veterans that we are able to sing of peace, hope, and joy in this land where freedom rings.
Our keynote speaker today is very familiar with our community and school. Senior Master Sergeant retired William Hawley and his wife Bee raised 4 children in the Milaca community from 1995 through 2005. His resume is diverse and filled with public service, most of it serving our country as a veteran. He attended Motley High School in Motley, Minnesota, and went on to college at the University of Minnesota Crookston and Concordia University St. Paul, graduating with a master's degree in criminal justice leadership and a minor in leadership studies. In 1982, he joined the U.S. Air Force after college, serving 8 years in Texas, Arkansas, Clark Air Base, Philippines, and Grand Forks, North Dakota. In 1990, he took on his civilian career as a law enforcement officer in Wisconsin and Minnesota for over 23 years, retiring in 2014, including time in Mille Lacs County and closing out in Ely, Minnesota. Bill joined the Air National Guard's 148th Fighter Wing in 2005 and went on to serve with 2 other units, the 219th Security Forces Squadron at Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota and the 113th DC Guard. In 2009 to 2010, he was deployed overseas, serving in Saudi Arabia. In 2017, he was selected as the Domestic Operations Manager for Security Forces, Air National Guard Readiness Center at Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland. He directly impacted over 7,500 Air National Guard Security Forces members to help them support civilian authorities during natural disasters and civil emergency by helping organize, train, and equip the 94th Security Force units in 50 states and 4 territories. In 2020, he retired from the Air National Guard, having reached the rank of Senior Master Sergeant, and went on to become a civilian employee for the Department of Defense as Procurement Action Officer at Air National Guard Readiness Center, Andrews Air Force Base. His current job, he helps support procurement activities of over $75 million yearly for Air National Guard activities. On a side note, Bill is a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell Leadership Team and speaks to groups on the importance of teamwork and leadership. He is an avid trapper and hunter, as well as creates custom colonial flintlock rifles in his spare time. His civic activities include lifetime memberships in the Veterans of Foreign Wars and Disabled American Veterans, as well as a member of the American Legion. Bill and his wife currently reside in Maryland, and he looks forward to retiring in the near future to enjoy his 5 grandchildren. Please help me welcome Senior Master Sergeant retired Bill Hawley.
Thank you to everybody, and I would like to welcome you all, family, friends, and community. The message today that I wish to deliver is going to be filled about community, and a very important part of your community, your veterans. I would like to start off, though, with a slide, if we would, please. I knew this was going to be a special event yesterday. I stepped off an airplane in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and right in front of me was one of your very own high school graduates, Priya Zakrajcek. Priya was standing in the airport, and I knew at that time the reason I was here was to support our Milaca community, and what a welcome she gave me as I got here, and we shared a hug. But there's something else that I would like to share. Her sister, Mara, attended the U.S. Air Force Academy and graduated, as well as her husband. A community member from your very own. Their mother, Barb Zakrajcek, served as your superintendent of schools for a number of years. Again, a prideful moment for this community. But let's talk a little bit about community. And I would like to address the military members that are in here right now. There are approximately 2 million members serving in your military right now, volunteers, that make up less than 2% of the population of the United States of America. Less than 2%. Volunteers. And many of the veterans that sit in this audience today raise their hands as volunteers, not as forced members of the military. Think about that for a minute. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. But wait a minute, I have one more group. The United States Marines. Would the members of the United States Marines that are sitting in this audience today please stand right now? Members of the U.S. Marine Corps, please stand right now. Gentlemen, ladies, I have a special gift. I'm going to tell you right now, some of the members of the Milaca School realize that this is a participation event. Leading in today's event to assist me is the choir director, because today is the 248th birthday of the United States Marine Corps, and if those members would please stand as we sing you happy birthday, we would appreciate it. So if the whole audience would follow the lead of our director and our Marine Corps veterans, please stand. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Marine Corps. Happy birthday to you. You didn't realize that you were going to become part of this address, did you? But let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about the fabric of a community. I was able to stand near the door today as you all came in. And having come from this community for a number of years, I recognized many old faces. I didn't recognize a lot of young faces. But we're going to talk about all of that today. But what I'd like to address is this is not just about Milaca. This is about a community. About a community of Mille Lacs County, Princeton, Milaca, Pease, Onamia, Isle. All of the cloth that comes together to create this community bond that we call home. But you see, there's fibers that make up this fabric. And that fabric today is made up of, and we celebrate those members of the military that have the special moniker veteran. Because you see, it's a very special group. Many of you walk around the community and you see these people, but you do not know the story. You do not know their story. But I can tell you, they're magical. They're prideful. And if you ask and stop one of them and ask about their service, I'm going to tell you, you are more than likely going to see a twinkle in their eye, a firm handshake, and an appreciation for the fact that you gave them a bit of time to recognize their service. That thread is unique in our country. But what does it mean for a veteran? So I want to thoroughly distinguish the two holidays that we have for our military. Memorial Day addresses those that have given their lives during peacetime and war, and that is the time to honor them. This Veterans Day, we honor those from the past, the present, of what they have accomplished, of what they have served, of what they have given, and what they still give because of their service to our country that has affected them. Some in ways that you can never imagine, but yet they've served your community in such a way that we hardly can even pay them thanks for the things that you have done for us. The core values of the Air Force stand as integrity first, service before self, and excellence in everything we do. That message is no different for any of the other services. Even though it's the Air Force's core value, those same things exist in every other of our services. And that's very important. Because today I'd like to talk to you about three things: the past, the present, and our future. But you see, I'm not going to talk about people in books that you can read about or off the internet. I don't need to go that far. I don't need to look that far in our community, and I'm proud to say I still, and my wife Bea, consider us members of this community. In fact, I would like to share with you for a moment another picture, because we're out in Maryland and that was addressed. You see, it's about 75 degrees out there right now, and even though you can't see it very well, I have a message for you. Winter's coming, and there's a lot of snow coming behind us, okay? So as soon as I leave, get your snow shovels out. Next slide, please. Our family came to this community, as Mr. Patnold said, in 1995. In that time, 3 of our children graduated from this very school, and 2 of them went on to serve our country. One of them serves as a civilian, my daughter Nikki, serving over those veterans and helping them with their benefits and the things that they need to help get them back into the civilian life. Not only that, but my son-in-law also serves in the Army National Guard. But today I'd like to talk about the past first. And again, I talked about the community fiber. From Princeton, Minnesota, a young man that I became involved with, Chad Trebby. Chad was graduated from Princeton High School, and in 1998 joined the United States Air Force and served until 2003. His grandfathers served in the Army overseas as well during the Great War. Fabric of a community. My very own son, Boone Hawley, joined the Marine Corps and went on to serve from 2005 until approximately 2009, and is a proud member of his community back home, but asked me to share with you a hello and thank you for what this community did for him. Slide, please. Next slide. Today, if you cannot see it, it's a picture of a young man, Lance Corporal Jason Luke. Again, I'm talking about the past. Jason joined the Marine Corps right out of high school. From 2002 to 2005, he served doing 2 tours in Iraq. On his second deployment to Iraq, on December 9th, 2004, his squad was ambushed in Jolan district of Fallujah. Jason was severely wounded in that assault. But I need to talk to you about resiliency, because in this audience sits Jason Luke and his family. Jason, would you please stand? Thank you. Next slide, please. Jason served as an infantryman, and he stayed in good contact with me throughout his time. Next slide, please. After Jason's wounding, he went to Germany and then back home to California, where he was presented the Purple Heart. With us today is his family. Rebecca, thank you. More importantly, his son Wyatt. You see, what happened is Jason could well, after his severe wounding, have given up, closed the doors, not taken part. But instead, in 2004, while still wounded and still healing, he came back home and married his sweetheart, Rebecca Luke. And they brought forward their son Wyatt. And they currently live in the community of Foley and have given beyond any words, just like other veterans have, that we do not often see or often take in. And thank you to the Luke family for everything you've gone through. His mother is here as well today, and I'm very honored to have him call him a friend, a mentor, and a veteran. But you see, we don't stop there. We start now with the present. My very own son, Nathaniel Hawley, is now a senior master sergeant with the 148th Fighter Wing, serving in Duluth, Minnesota. He has served 4 deployments overseas, and if the next slide, please, if we could see it, was surprised with a trip to Syria and led a team of 26 members in a very dangerous area. He graduated from this school. He was part of your community, and he pridefully went out and did his duty. And again, is a member of our fabric of our nation. Sergeant First Class Gwen Tavel. I don't have a picture of Gwen up there, but he's my son-in-law. I'm very grateful, you see, because Gwen was blown up 4 times while he served in Iraq and Afghanistan. And because of his survival and his resiliency, my wife and I are proud grandparents of 3 grandbabies. Next slide, please. Oh, I had to sneak in a picture of grandbabies, okay? So if any of you know, that was really... And for those vets that know, they're pretty special, aren't they? Another member of your community, Aaron Wright. In fact, I just learned that he was promoted from enlisted to officer corps as First Lieutenant Aaron Wright, having served across our country as well and is still serving. But there's more to the fabric of the community in the present. If you hear a name that is yours or a relative as I say this, please stand. Keller, Hop, Dobson, Wilcox, Erickson, Hill, Roden, Edel, Seppala, Saylor, Knapp, Verwink, Totsky, Stelmach, Stokes, Menke, Rust, or Hanson. Please stand if you have family members whose names have been called and family members who are currently serving in our military. Please stand. Thank you for supporting our veterans and your family. But it doesn't end there. I now have a special discussion that I need to have with the future. And it's to this high school team and to those that are from outside and even to the family members that are here. You heard me talk about the numbers. Less than 2%. 2 million. For a nation of over 350 million people. Our world is no less of a dangerous place now, as it was in the times of our other veterans. But you see, it's time that we ask of you to determine whether or not, at some point, you will earn the title veteran. It's not a light task, but it's a task that can be very proud, very rich, very rewarding. If any of the members of the Milaca High School, the seniors or even the juniors that are anticipating going into military, would you please stand for us today? Anybody that is going into the military, please stand. That's currently going in, is in. There's one. We've got one up front here. Others? I look forward to the day where I will call you veteran. And your community will be very prideful of the fact that you are there. And you are protecting us from the very things that we need the help with. Thank you for stepping forward. And for those that are thinking of it, please continue to think of it. Our military but even more so, your community and your country need you. Thank you. Please have a seat. The gift of the fabric of this nation, again, made up of many. But today, our veterans are the thread that I speak of. And the things that have come before, currently, and into the future, because you are the legacy, the legs for our legacy. Many of us have aged. Many of us are growing older and tireder. And we need you to step forward. My talk's coming to an end now. And I want to thank you, Mr. Patnode, for inviting me to give this address. I have one last thing that I would like to do, and I would thought long and hard. I owe something to this community. And in doing so, I asked Mr. Whedon and Mr. Patnode to please step forward to receive a gift from me and my family. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of our nation falls on veterans. There's no doubt about it. And today, I would like to present to the Milaca School and the Milaca community and the community at large this gift of a flag that was flown over Mount Vernon, over George Washington's home. Presenting the flag is Lance Corporal Jason Luke, the superintendent of the school. Last picture, please. Lastly, I would like to put this together for your team, is a picture of George Washington with the veterans of the Continental Army at Valley Forge to hang in your school, and for those to always remember that there were those greater than us that came before, that allowed us to be Americans, that allow us the freedom that we have, and the pride in knowing that there are men and women that will stand up for our country, that will stand up for our crises, and always be there to provide a blanket of freedom that we can appreciate. Mr. Patnode? It's with this that I leave you. I ask that we all remember two words: never and forever. Never and forever. Never will we forget the veterans that have served and are serving, and we will forever hold them in our hearts as they join the military and go forward to help us protect our country. May God bless our veterans, our community, and most of all, may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much for having me today. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Did I do okay? You did great, Judy. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the Milaca High School Symphonic Band under the direction of Mr. Andrew Nelson.
In the spirit of Veterans Day, it is appropriate that we remember the veterans who, along with their families, have sacrificed their time, their health, and even their lives. This year, we would particularly like to celebrate the veterans from Milaca, who have made our freedom possible. Please enjoy our performance of Frank DiCelli's Amazing Grace as we honor the contributions of local veterans.
It is important that we observe Veterans Day with honor and respect every year. The contributions of veterans reach far beyond their presence on the battlefield. Veterans are critical members of our community, and they contribute beyond their service in so many ways every day. We will never forget your service, and we will never forget those who sacrificed their lives for our country. As is carved and granted at the Milaca Veterans Memorial, all gave some gave all. Thank you for attending this performance today. We must remember our veterans. For over 200 years, the men and women of our armed services have defended the United States and continue to keep vigilant watch over our great nation. The debt of gratitude we as a nation owe these brave soldiers cannot be measured. With this tribute in song, let us remember those who have fallen and those who continue to serve by standing when your service song is played, and let us all join in the singing of the last measures of America the Beautiful at the conclusion of the American Heroes Tribute. The United States Army. The United States Marine Corps. The United States Navy and Coast Guard. The United States Air Force. One last time, those of you in attendance who are veterans or currently serving, please stand for one more round of applause. At this time, students and staff, in an orderly and safe manner, you can go back to 6th hour. Community members, just sit tight and let's let the hounds get back to class here.